Joining us now is the co-chair of the Israel Allies Caucus, also chairman of the Pro-Life Caucus in the House, New Jersey Congressman Chris Smith. Chris, welcome to the program. Good to see you.
Good to see you as always, Tony. Thank you.
And Congressman Smith, also a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. So I want to talk Israel, but first I want to get your reaction to the House unanimously electing Mike Johnson as Speaker today.
Sure. Every Republican rallied around Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson is an absolutely class individual, full of love of Jesus, love of God, and he is a very, very effective scholar. You know, he's a constitutional lawyer. He understands how law is made, and he's a practitioner of all of this in a way that's going to substantially boost us and help us get our agenda forward. He's got such a nice way about him. He radiates the love of Christ, and he does it so effectively. And he'll take a lot of barbs. He already has taken some from the Democrats, but he'll return fire, but he'll do so in a very ethical way. So I couldn't be happier. He's an amazing guy.
And you're going to have a great ally as chairman of the Pro-Life Caucus.
Without a doubt.
I mean, he's strong. Mike and I have worked on some pro-life stuff going all the way back when I was in the Louisiana legislature. So let's talk Israel today. A resolution, one of the first orders of business as the House got back to business, was a resolution for the support of Israel. We're just talking with Mike Waltz about that. Why is this significant at this time?
Well, it was significant to have everybody, and it was bipartisan, as you pointed out. There were 425 co-sponsors, which never happens on any piece of legislation. Out of 435, that's amazing. But it sent a very clear message of our solidarity with Israel, as well as our profound opposition to Hamas and their use of torture, their use of rape, and all the terrorism tactics that they have deployed against Israelis, including Americans, Jewish Americans who are there. Many have died as well. And, you know, Hamas really, and I've been saying this for years, I just had another hearing on it last June and talked a lot about how anti-Semitism is at the core. They teach it, as you know, Tony, in UNRWA, which is UN Works Relief Agency. We fund that. Trump had stopped it all completely. And now under Biden, we provided about $1 billion to these schools, which just promote anti-Semitism 24/7. And it's in the textbooks. It's so the culture of hate is promulgated every single day and taught to the next generation. And the generation that's doing the killing now has already been in those UNRWA camps as well as those schools. I have another hearing, Tony, set for November 8th on the United Nations, and their very biased and anti-Semitic activities, whether it be UNRWA, the UN Human Rights Council, and now most recently, Secretary General Guterres, who said some very, very terrible things about Israel and so-called occupation.
Yeah, we played that earlier. But I want to play a clip of actually President Biden from earlier today, because his comments are not very helpful either. Play clip number 2, please.
There's no going back to the status quo as it stood on October the 6th. That means ensuring Hamas can no longer terrorize Israel and use Palestinian civilians as human shields. It also means that when this crisis is over, there has to be a vision of what comes next. And in our view, it has to be a two-state solution.
I mean, this two-state solution idea, this is what brought us to Gaza and turning control of Gaza over to Hamas. I mean, what did they not get about this?
Tony, excellent point. The test case for the two-state solution was Gaza. You know, the Israelis turned it over in an exchange for peace, and they got nothing from it except terrorism and war. If there's an additional two-state, in other words, the West Bank and other parts go over to as a state to the Palestinians, we'll have, the proximity to Jerusalem and elsewhere will even be higher and greater, and the threat will be very, very profound. So a two-state solution, it's been tried, it's been tested, and it's an utter failure.
And I would argue, as you just pointed out, that's how we got to this point of this.
It is the Oslo Agreement.
Exactly. The worst act of aggression, brutality since the Holocaust toward the Jewish people happened as a result of those that have been pushing policies in pursuit of this two-state solution.
Exactly. I've read the Hamas 1988 their manifesto, and I quoted it on during the floor debate today on the floor. They want Israel to be wiped off the map, all Jews killed. They call for the killing of all the Jews, and they say it very matter-of-factly in their document, and they're doing it. You know, if Israel was not resolute and had the iron will to push back, they would be wiped off the face of the earth. And I can't believe the naivete of saying, let's go back to a flawed vision of the two-state solution.
We're almost out of time, Chris, but I just want to ask you this question, and it's rhetorical, but when are we going to start believing what these people say? I mean, this goes all the way back to Adolf Hitler, that nobody wanted to believe what he was saying. I mean, they're doing exactly what they said they were going to do.
You know, absolutely true. And even when they talk about peace conferences and the like, the Hamas Charter in 1988 makes very clear, and their reiteration of it in 2017, that there is no Israel. It will be done away with. So they're saying it. They say it again. They act on it. They kill people, innocent people. And we're supposed to,
in their textbooks, their maps don't even include Israel.
I've seen the textbook. I've seen the maps.
I have too.
There's no more Israel. And that's what my hearing will be focusing on. Another hearing on combating anti-Semitism, of course, with a special focus on the UN. And it's very, very aggressively bigoted view in all of its manifestations towards the state of Israel.
Well, thank you for shining a light on that. It needs to be done. Chris Smith, always great to see you. You do a great job for us on Capitol Hill, and we're grateful for you.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you for all your wonderful work.